Hi, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well. I had a chat with one of my clients today, and we were talking about habits. And habits are something that we learn and that we create because, it's just something that we do over and over again. One of the things that we were talking about is that she found herself having a spontaneous free afternoon with her husband. And the default suggestion was, why don't we go out for a meal? Why don't we take ourselves out for lunch? Their daughters were away with family, and we associate so much of our entertainment and enjoyment around food, which of course, there's nothing wrong with doing that. But when you're on a weight loss journey and when you want that result so much, we have to challenge our usual way of thinking and do something different. And doing something different, it's not always something that we feel comfortable doing, but we know that we need to embrace change in order to see the results that we want. So I said to her, she said, oh, well, I did think about it as we suggested going out for lunch, which they did do. In the back of her mind, and she was saying, we don't actually have to go out for lunch. We could do something else. And I think this is what we need to be more aware of. And rather than just having the thought and ignoring it, actually acting on it and think, okay, well, what can we do differently? I know that we've always typically gone out and grabbed a bite to eat or a drink. What can we do differently? The key is spending time together. And this extends not just within your relationship with your partner, but with your friends. When you're out with friends, or if you're planning a girls' night, lads' night, or whatever, and normally it's around food, why don't you suggest doing something else where you can still enjoy, socialize, but the emphasis is not on eating, which means that everybody's happy. You're able to stick to a plan that is in alignment with what you're doing whilst still having the social element, because being on plan shouldn't stop you from being sociable. No one's saying that you need to close the door and not see anybody, because every time they go out, they're going to be going out for meals. Hopefully there'll be a real nice balance of, yes, maybe there might be the odd meal, but not every meal or not every time that you're going out with friends. It needs to be food related. So I thought I would make a list of a few things that might appeal to you. And because I was saying this to my client, that, make a list, write down 10 things that you've got in your back pocket of things that you can do that are totally unfood related, so that if you ever find yourself in a situation of you've got a free spontaneous afternoon, whether it's by yourself, whether it's friends, partner, you've got something that you can go, actually, do you know what? Rather than going out for a meal, why don't we do this instead? And having that list, it just means that you've got something there and you can make decisions very quickly. So I thought I would help if you're interested in putting a list together. And obviously this list isn't exclusive, you can add to it. Look around, where do you live? I mean, I'm really fortunate that we are right on the estuary, so we've got a beautiful kind of like coastline that we can walk to, even like the marina or the nature reserve. You might live near a really lovely park or a national trust, so take yourself off, or arrange to meet friends. Even if you take a flask of tea or coffee, you still get to enjoy nature, be out and about, and get to go out. And then a lot of these places are free, right? You don't even need to spend any money. Pottery, I love those, pottery cafes where you can go, get funny, get silly, get creative. Admittedly, maybe you might have to book in advance. Maybe if it's a random afternoon, you might get lucky, depending on what time of year it is. Maybe the kids are at school or whatever, but you never know. That's something that you could do. Go to one of those fun craft afternoons at the pottery. One of the other suggestions is a vision board. I am really big on my vision boards. I've got like one here, another one there. I've got another one there. So I'm all about the vision boards. I'm growing my business. I like to be reminded of when I sit here at my desk, why is it that I'm working? What is it that I want to achieve? And it really helps me connect with my why. So I love creating a vision board. Maybe you are an artist, maybe you like painting, maybe you like charcoal drawing, whatever it is, like, you know, release those creative juices. I'm not a particular great drawer or painter, but if it's something that you enjoy doing and you don't allow enough time for it, then take this opportunity, if you have an afternoon spare, just to, you know, go with the flow and get your creative juices going. You might want to go to a Zumba class, or a class or something that's being held at the gym, or maybe just go to the gym and do like a session or something. If you're a member, you know, use that membership, make it work to your advantage. Maybe you like golf, or golf ball, which is something the kids like doing. You know, have fun. You know, it doesn't have to be all around kids. Maybe that could extend to crazy golf, maybe paddle boarding or pickleball or pedal. We like that. Maybe you've got some DIY jobs that you've been putting off and maybe that really need your attention. So anything is a distraction. I know that it always wants to be fun and maybe not something that you always usually do, but it doesn't always have to be around food. Maybe you've got a craft project, maybe you are a crafter, and so many of my clients are really like diamond painting, or the, you know, the colouring books. For me, it's just something where you can just be distracted by using your hands, and you just kind of, yeah, I find it really relaxing. I find colouring in really relaxing, and I really like the diamond painting. That looks like a lot of fun. Maybe you're into animals. Maybe you could go to an animal charity or a sanctuary or a farm or something. Maybe you've got a wardrobe clear out that is long overdue. I had a client who was finding herself really hungry on plan, and she didn't want to, you know, she was within her calorie allowance, etc. So she decided to tackle the kids' wardrobes. And she said that actually it was really good because the amount of trips that she was taking up and downstairs, filling up these bags full of clothes, taking them to the car, she was actually getting a lot of steps in whilst she was clearing out the wardrobe. So actually that worked out really well. Try a dance. Maybe you like dancing. There are plenty on TikTok that you can try. Maybe you've been wanting to plan a holiday. There's a weekend girls trip coming up, or you know, something that you'd want to plan for next year. Start researching, get yourself out the kitchen so you're not thinking about food. Maybe go to the park and think about where you want to plan your next trip, your next destination. Maybe it's a games afternoon. Maybe you could take, a game of chess or whatever it is, and maybe go to the park and just sit there with a coffee and your friends and have a games afternoon. Maybe you live near some lovely museums, or charity shop hunting. My friend my old flatmate used to love going on charity shop bargain hunts. You never know what you might find. And actually that leads on to the treasure hunt app. So you've got the geocaching. Maybe you're into that. You could do that, or take yourself to the cinema. So there are so many things that you can do that have nothing to do with food that could keep you distracted. Some of them are going to keep you active, but just keep your mind shifting away from food. What we want to do is we want to break up the routine. We want to break up the monotony, and the things that you're doing, the things that you're choosing to do are in alignment with the goals that you want to achieve. I know that we always, food is so much a part of, our daily lives, but we also pin it a lot around entertainment and distraction, and it's doing different things. And by doing different things, it will feel more second nature to continue doing them. And when you do go out for the meals, because of course you're going to go out for meals, but they'll feel more special because actually they're things that you're looking forward to rather than just filling in a gap. So loads of suggestions here. I'd love to know in the comments if there's anything that you would add to these suggestions that are, fun, that are going to keep you distracted, that have got nothing to do with food or drinking alcohol, that is, because I think it's going to really help. And I know that for me, when I've felt that the boredom of what do I do in my time, having something like this as a list to fall back onto has really helped me. And if we can help other people, that would be great too. So I hope this helped. Please do like and subscribe. I do release videos every week. Wednesday next week might be a little bit later. We're on a trip, so we'll be coming back in the morning, but it should be up and running at some point on Wednesday. But please do reach out, and if you'd like to find out any information about the one-to-one diet, I am running, and I get it, especially as a working mum, when the kids are off, in between the kids clubs, the holidays, like, we are spending a lot of money. I get it. I'm in the same position as you, and I get the pinch points. So for the month of August, I have slashed my costs. I've really reduced my price of the plans because I want to make this as affordable. And if the cost is the only thing that is stopping you from embarking on your weight loss journey, I really don't want that to be a blocker. So I have reduced my prices in order to allow you guys to start your plan in August. Yes, you can lose weight in August. There's this myth that seems to be surrounding, oh, I can't, the kids are on holiday. If you tell yourself you can't, what's that Henry Ford saying? Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, either way, you're right. It would be so amazing if you wake up the first week of September and go, do you know what? I feel really good. You know, I had that real balance of, you know, joining in on some things and, like, you know, learning how to control and be in alignment with my goals. And I've actually lost weight, and I'm not in that kind of like dread of having gained that, you know, holiday weight, and now I'm even heavier than when I was when I entered the summer holidays. So having that element of control and just kind of that empowerment, it is something amazing. So you can lose weight in August, and I'm here to help you facilitate that with this amazing deal. If you want to find out what it is, please drop me August in the comments and I can send those details to you. You need to be based in the UK for me to be able to support you. And apart from that, good to go. So I hope you're well. Take care, and I'll see you soon.